Alright everybody, welcome back for another Bitcoin technical analysis. The reason I'm making this video is to just do a follow-up on the previous video we made a few days ago. There wasn't much happening, but what I was talking about was that if you look here, we actually fulfilled the M pattern in a way. The neckline is right here, and we breached the 21 moving average. And remember, these moving averages, they act as support and resistance depending on where you are. And so, if you just look at the weekly for now, stochastics are still pointing down. So remember we failed to break out of that. This was a major resistance, and so on June the 3rd, just about 3 weeks ago, and so this line is quite major. Now, if we follow this pattern, it's going to dump all the way to about 52. Right? So the daily, this is interesting because you see another M here that actually played out. And then the larger M, we'll get to that in a second. But if you just look at a relatively small period, this is the M right here. Let's show the neckline first. If we just count these wicks, because they seem to be as resistance or a support. And so if we draw the M, we've fulfilled the M. Conservatively, that is the target, and we broke the target. Now we broke below that. We actually closed below this support, or if you really want, we could do sort of a range, and you can say we kind of had support, if you count the last wicks here. Now, although you have the stochastic pointing up, that just could be a little retracement for a bigger move down to the downside. If we can draw a bear flag here, the stochastics could come up, reach its momentum, the peak of its momentum, and then we could dump. And then if that works out, price goes like this, people think, oh yeah, we are back to 67 or whatever. Then they're gonna keep buying, and then you a bunch of shorters, and then they're gonna take the market. So right now, I would say the bears are in control, in a way. Okay, let's look at the longer time frame. So the bigger M pattern I was talking about here, right here, you see, we did make that bottom. So if we say, well, sure, the M is actually down here. The middle line, the neckline is right here. Sure, we could still say that we haven't closed at or below that line, and the 200 moving average could be acting as support. So we have to really see how the stochastics play out. So this is crucial. I mean, we can try to draw something like this if you really want to draw like a symmetric triangle, and we can kind of there. Right now, you can see we're at the bottom of the trend line. We can go all the way up here, and then if we make another lower high, yeah, sure, then you come back down and then down, right? And we can measure this if you really want to see. Let's say we end up here, so that's 46k, right? So that's we can kind of foresee it's going to be something like this, right? And then down goes the move. This move. Then if we actually break it from this point here, on about at about October 18th, then yeah, we have exactly 46k 800 as the support. Now this is all longer time frames. there isn't, we can look at smaller time frames too. And of course, smaller time frames dictate the longer time frames. So let's get rid of this. So I'm still looking forward to the flag here. You see, we could even dump like in the next 12 hours or 18 or 20 hours, because you see, this is a resistance, the white line, 21 moving average. We're following that as a trend. You see, we're downward, and stochastics are heading down. So we could say we are about to hit this. We can say this is the bear flag, and we start to dump, and that's 55k. I was saying 55k for quite some time, and what happens? I don't see any type of reversal. You can say, sure, this is a inverse head and shoulder, but we met with resistance for the 80 moving average, and that's 3 bounces, 3 wicks, and we couldn't break above, so expect more downside. We could get a bullish divergence if the price keeps going down, and then we can get a low to low, and then low to high, or high to low, low to high. So you can have, well, maybe like this, right? Hopefully this line, the RSI, could go like that, something like that. We don't want this RSI to go too high, because if you go too high, what happens is then we can't really form that, because you see, it doesn't really work that way. We're crossing, so it has to be lower. So this is just some potential moves we could predict. So yeah, 1 hour could break us above, but we have to really have a strong and quick move, violent move all the way up and close above the yellow line. But the past few, 3 to 4 weeks haven't shown any strengths for the bulls. There's just a lack of momentum. Now I'm just seeing everything like just now live with you. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. Like I didn't look read into this ahead of time. I'm just doing it as I'm doing this video. 15 minutes. Let's see what we can do. 15 minutes. Nothing really. Like the 15-minute, you see, when the 200 moving average is now higher than everybody else, that is a bearish sign, right? Right. So came down. We were at the bottom, so yeah, that would have been good, especially when the 21 crossed the 200, the white crossing the yellow. That would have been good, but we were just flattening out. Everything was flattening out, and then sideways, and then reversing. So when you see these are kind of getting closer, and especially when you have the 21 crossing the 200, maybe a good time to close the position, because that means it's gonna head back the other way. So we might just go sideways and then boom, done, dump this. Yeah, so 5 minutes, just not really exciting. We couldn't get above the 200. 3 minute, struggling to hold above. High stochastics. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, this is just gonna keep going sideways. Nothing to see at the on the 1 minute. So yeah, that is my take. So my position still holds. Although this is not financial advice, please get yourself your own financial advisor. As well, what I see is this flag playing out. So just watch out for the next. This is 4 hours, so we'll talk about next few days. This week, can we form this or can we bounce back? So we can either go sideways or not sideways. We can form this flag and give a false impression that we're back to, you know, back to the top side and then fall. Or we could go like this, form some sort of flag, and then bring us up. At least, well, we could bring it at least back to this resistance, and then we could come back down. So these are just my guesses. Nobody knows where Bitcoin's going or any other coin is going. It's just speculation, and using some kind of technical analysis. Of course, we try to always be correct, but we're not always correct. We're human beings. So I mean, what's going on with the rest of the market? Well, right. So tether dominance pretty high up, but we got rejected here. Yeah, we got rejected the 200. Is that a good sign for the market? It could be. Bitcoin dominance still go uptrend. Yeah, on the weekly basis, not bad. So yeah, it's not doom and gloom, especially with Bitcoin dominance at this level. Not as high as end of last. Well, this was 2 years ago. Yeah, that was the 69K run end of December 2020. Let's just double check this. December 2020. Yeah, that was a 60K run. 69K. So yeah, I mean they coincide, right? Like if we could, can we do this? I don't think I could. Yeah, I could. Doesn't matter. We need a strong Bitcoin dominance. We didn't really have good Bitcoin dominance, so this you could say this run isn't really there yet. We haven't really had a real bull run. You see, you need everybody to FOMO into Bitcoin, like at 70%, even at its lowest was 57, which is where we're struggling to even get to. So something to think about. Still, total market cap is dumping. It's just like Bitcoin's chart. You see, looking at total one or just total is a good indicator where Bitcoin is going. So we formed the M again, just like Bitcoin. Again, we're below the 21, and we're still just not where we were at 3 trillion. You know, at 2.6 was our peak right here, and we have good support here. Or this could be more of a range. I would say starting here. I would say this is the range of support. Maybe worst case scenario 2.04. So anywhere I would still think it's bullish, but if we dip below 2, that's not looking too good because we spent so much time under 2. This was right after. This was like after the peak of 69K, right? January 22. Where were we? January 22. You see, January we were at, oh my god, we were at 30K. So we would lose like almost 50%, and so we don't want to get back to 2 trillion. So that's something else to look at. Okay, guys, that's it for today's short Bitcoin technical analysis. I hope you guys got something out of this. And if you guys have any comments or remarks on, or maybe you have a different perspective, feel free to comment, or you could share your thoughts and see how we could do better. And until then, we'll see you in the next video.